let's take a walk down memory lane, which in this case is littered with crappy abandoned novels and a lot of potholes. I'm Magic Turtle 643, and this is The Red Show. As some of you know, I'm a writer, and I've written a lot of novels, some of them better than others. So today, I'm going to go through my folder of old writing stuff and give you the lowdown on the novels that didn't quite make the grade. It's the lowdown because I'm sitting on the floor. Okay. Oh god, Archaic Arcade. That's the stupidest name. This was a really ambitious sci-fi novel that I wrote set in the distant future, and the main character was this businessman named November who was selling a video game that was using real people. And who were these real people? They were religious prophets, like still living ones. Like imagine like Jesus. The premise of the novel was like the premise to a bad Mortal Kombat game, because these religious icons would fight each other, but they were my own religions. Like I'd come up with these ridiculous, like over the top, like one of the religious like messiahs was a superhero named the Human Turbine. And my favorite religious icon was this guy named Big Bad. He was like a grizzled cowboy, right? But he had no legs. So he would walk around on two giant crutches that were actually f***ing rifles. Guys, I'm sorry. Let's cool things off a bit with a novel called Blend Blast Chill. Now, I had just been through college and I was thinking, you know, the writers that become really successful and revered write these really brooding, like, literary novels where there's not really a plot, it's just sort of about characters being sad. I don't even remember the plot. I know it involved two main characters. One was named Monty. He was an inventor, and he tried to make an all-in-one, like, kitchen appliance that did everything. It blended, it blasted food with heat, and it chilled food rapidly, and he was a complete failure, so he was living out of a gift shop in Alaska. The resort where they're staying at is called Fjord Knox. Now let's get back to the ridiculous. Here's another novel where I threw in everything except for the kitchen sink, and then I went ahead and threw in several varieties of kitchen sink. And when you turn on the faucet of these sinks, all that flowed out was just tropes, just trope juice. It's called Ectogasp. This was a young adult dystopian novel where the world had been afflicted by this ghostly mist, and it turns out the mist is actually ectoplasm. I don't get where I was going with that. It's like the afterlife is like overflowing, so then like all the spirit juice was leaking back into reality. The main character was a photographer, so she always had like an old-fashioned camera around her neck, and she would snap a photo, and then the flash would go out, and in that flash, ghosts would be there, and they would come to life, but they would actually be helpful ghosts. So it's like a weird superpower. She would like snap a photo, and then ghosts would be like, I'm here to help! But don't worry guys, because it gets even worse than that. This novel has zombies. Okay, next up, The Gut Crush Coaster. So this was about a girl named Maxine. She was a maintenance person for her family's theme park, and they had different roller coasters, and they were famous for when you rode the roller coaster, they would give you like just the beginning shred of a superpower. So you like ride this roller coaster called the Static Shock, and when you come off, you could like zap people. I don't know, I was trying to balance like subtle and interesting on this teeter-totter, and then it just snapped in the middle and both of them fell into the mud. Boy, if you thought that was bad, now we're on to Pesticide Punch. This novel is 74 chapters long. It was from the perspective of 8 different characters. It gets worse. Every one of those characters represented a different form of energy. Like in the universe. Ooh, I feel like we're binging on the cringe. Rain was a chemist, so he represented chemical energy. Ruby was a pilot, so she was gravitational energy. Oh god, the rubber tongue. This was my attempt at writing like a comedy/literary novel. This novel was about a YouTuber, not a real one I made up. Her name was Faye, and she was one of those like annoying like daily vloggers, like, hey, it's Faye, I'm here at Burger King. And at the beginning of every chapter, there would be like the transcript of the video she was making, as if that's not a waste of time to the plot. And at the very end of the chapter, there would be comments. So like, this one says, highest rated comments. Could see down your shirt. Then it went into this whole thing where the guy who stole her laptop was actually a stalkery fan who was trying to be in love with her. And he does trick her into falling in love with him, and then she realizes he's just a stalker fan, and she's like, what is wrong with you? And finally, we have the book called Forecast, this is the oldest one. This was like my magnum opus when I was in, I don't know, middle school. It was a high fantasy. It was about these dueling clans, but yeah, I know, it's like, duh, it's about dueling clans. One cool thing about it, I guess, was that every chapter was named after whatever weather was happening. So after 80, I was running out. It was like, oh, rain, snow, sleet, earthquake, rain and snow, like mixed. And that's all that I can stomach for this episode. Thanks for watching. Those have been my terrible abandoned novels that will never see the light of day. Oh, one more. This book was called Swift Eye. It was a mystery, and the main character was a crime-solving fox. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like, leave a comment, share it with your dad, share it with your grandma, don't share it with your mom, she doesn't deserve this. And remember, if you write a book, you should post it on your Zanga.